Hey everyone, it's Clossi, and I am extremely sorry that I have not posted a video in what I think someone told me was like 6 months now or more. As many of you know, I have been in college, so I've been pretty busy with that, and I just haven't been around to make the videos. I am deeply sorry, and to those of you who are still subscribed to me and still watching my videos, I greatly appreciate your comments and support. I recently noticed I had over 800 subscribers, and that is just awesome. You have no idea how happy that makes me feel. But here I am with another video, and it's the basics of how to approach Yose, and for those of you who don't know what Yose means, it's the end game. So in the end game, there are some pretty simple concepts to follow. The first is take the double sente moves first. The second is play your sente moves. The third is take away your opponent's sente moves. And the fourth, play the biggest gote move. Now, for those of you who don't know what sente and gote are, sente means it's forcing or you have the initiative. Or in another way of saying it, you play out a variation where you end with the initiative or the first move to play somewhere else away from the local situation that you just played. Gote is basically the opposite, means you lose the initiative or you don't get the first move after the variation is finished. For example, right here I have empty board on, or not an empty board, a board for a Yose example, and as you can see here, it's not quite finished. It's almost done, but it's in the late stages of Yose. There are some early stages of Yose, but those can get pretty complicated, and this is more straightforward. So a common Sente move would be one that threatens to take away additional points after the first move. So for example, if I go here as white, black is going to want to respond, and now I have the first move as white again. So it would be Sente. And had I not played there, and black plays there, he'll get a point at this spot right here. So this move takes away 1 point in Sente. You got what? Uh-huh. We need to stop jumping in the water. Okay, go away. I'm making a video. Bye. That was the little brother. Normally I might edit that out, but I'm not sure how easy that will be with the program I'm using right now. So hopefully you don't mind that. Anyway, so you want to play Sente variations in Yose, and you want to play all your Sente variations first before anything. But as I said, the first step was to play the double Sente moves, or moves that are Sente for both you and your opponent. Now, the only Yose moves that are left are here, here, and here, I believe, for white. And for black, I believe it's the same 3 spots. Okay, so out of these 3 spots, which one, well, I guess that might be a little inaccurate because it's past here. This move also threatens additional points, so it can be double Sente as well, but the move I want you that is most common for double Sente is down here, because after white gets this, black blocks, white fixes, there's this cut here that black needs to fix. Otherwise, white can come in and cut like this, and you lose a good number of points. And even if black does that, it's still not enough. You just lose so many points here. And if black does it first, it's pretty much the same thing. White wants to fix. It is debatable whether or not this move is bigger than this because of this variation. But um, point being, it's a sente for both sides under almost all circumstances. And if you do this first, you can still get this move. So if you do this move first, apparently in this case, black will respond. You can still get this. Either way, you get both because you take the biggest sente moves first. So in this game, if we follow the little guidelines I said before, we'll play this move first. Black blocks. Black wants to respond because it's the biggest. Then this second biggest. If white goes here, black does want to respond, but if black goes here, white goes here, black goes here, these stones are dying, so white has to block, and then black can come back and block. It's questionable on which one. Well, I guess you lost the same amount of points on both sides, but if you go here first, you can get both. You can take 1 point, take 1 point, instead of you take 2 points, you lose 2 points. You just took 2 points on both sides. And then you can fix this because this Atari is sente for black. And I believe that would be all the Yose. Then you fill in the dame, and the dame are the points that are nobody's points. You fill those in at the very end in real life. And on the internet, you don't have to, but if you're wondering if there's points to being made or lost within the dame, then you can go ahead and fill those in. And in Chinese rules, you have to fill in dame because each stone counts as a point. I can explain that later, maybe, because it's just the different rule sets. Most of the time, you fill in dame. Anyway, so if we look at the score, white has 59 points and black has 59 points. But, of course, white always gets an additional half a point for Komi due to the fact that that prevents ties almost always. There's only like rare circumstances that ties can happen, but Komi prevents almost all ties. And the ties that can happen is if you get like a triple ko, then the game will have to stop because no one will ever stop playing the triple ko. I think there might be one more, or is that the only one? I'm not sure. But point being, it prevents ties, so in this case, white will win by half a point. So if we go back, and let's say we play even one move different. Let's say I play here instead. Black plays here. We finish up the Yose, or the Dame. Score tool. White has 59, black has 60. And this is just with 3 moves, mind you. If, let's say I go here, black goes here, white goes here, fixes, black goes here. Alright, let's see this score. And the reason I'm filling in here is because later, let's pass. If white goes here, I have a cut, so I have to fix. So I'm going to go ahead and fix. Alright, and score tool. Wow. White has 56 points, black has 60 points. So white would lose by 3.5 points. And with just 3 moves, the score varied, like, what, 4 points? Just changing the order of what order you take these 3 moves in, the score can completely change the game. And in Yose on a 19x19 grid, the score can vary up to 20 or so points depending on how good or bad your Yose is, or your opponent's Yose is. Most of the time, it'll stay pretty close to the original scale upon going into Yose, or the difference between, because the players are probably going to be similar in skill in Yose. But if you have a good Yose, then you're probably going to have a slight advantage if you go into the end game to get maybe 5 more points than your opponent, and that can completely change a game. I do want to stress, don't go out of your way to try and get like uberly good at Yose. just because you'll naturally improve in Yose as you get stronger. As long as you stick to the guidelines and actually put thought into where the biggest Yose moves are in your real games, then you'll naturally get stronger. You don't have to go doing you don't have to go reviewing a bunch of games and just trying to find the absolute best Yose and spending hours upon studying one Yose position. You'll just get stronger as that is, or you'll get better at that as you get stronger. Just keep practicing and keep putting thought into what the biggest moves are. And sometimes you'll realize, as I showed you here, that some moves that you might think are Sente, or not here, some moves that you might think are Sente, like this, might not always be the Sente you thought it was. Like in this example, some moves that are normally Sente might not be Sente depending on the board. You always have to watch out for those. So in this case, you have this. And black looks dead. Anyway, so remember the 4 guidelines. First, take the double Sente moves. Those are outrageously big because whoever gets them first gets them for free. Second, use all of your Sente moves and make sure they are Sente, because some Sente moves are Sente, but your opponent might have a Sente move that's more valuable, and for that you'll just see how many points are lost if you ignore for each one, if that makes any sense. For example, if I go here and black goes here, we will look at how many points each player loses if ignored, and this one is bigger because that group dies. So if I go here, black wants to respond and they can respond here. And then black can do that. So make sure your move is the most valuable Sente move on the board for both sides to make sure it is Sente. And after that, take away your opponent's Sente moves, because if you try to play a big Gote move, then then your Gote move is just going to be pointless because your opponent will still gain the Sente move that you could have taken away, as well as all the other Sente moves that he has. After that, you'll play the biggest Gote move, and you'll get better at that as you get stronger as well. And that comes with figuring out how big a move is or how valuable it is. Now, there are exceptions to the second and third step for your Sente and your opponent's Sente. And this is where it gets very debatable, and mathematicians have studied this, and I think they have a formula, and I tried to read it in the book called Mathematical Way to Go, but that formula was highly complicated and I did not understand it at all. The idea is, when is a Gote move more valuable than a Sente move? And in that you have to think, if I play this move and my opponent that I originally thought was Sente, my opponent goes to play a Gote move and takes away 10 points in Gote, am I going to make up the 10 points with this move that I thought was Sente when he ignores? If that makes any sense. In other words, it can get to a lot of really complicated mathematics, and for math majors, that's a really good problem. If you guys can come up with a cool formula that I can use in my games, I'd be pretty happy, because that'd really improve my Yose. But otherwise, these steps are pretty good guidelines to follow, at least until you get to single-digit Q, if not Don. The mathematics mean, if you can't do it, what are the odds that your opponents can do those high mathematics during a game with a time limit? I don't know. If they can do it, and then I'll just never get to Yose with them. I'll just create a life and death problem on the board and hopefully beat them there. I don't know. That would be a difficult game to play. But otherwise, I think Yose it's fine to just stick with those 4 steps as a beginner up until a certain point, and from there you'll just have to figure out how to improve your own Yose, just like I am. It's its own part of the game. It's its own section to study. But again, don't overdo it and take time away from the other aspects of the game, like middle game and early game. Those are just as important as Yose. Um, in the end, I hope this was helpful, and I will try to have another video out again soon. And if I don't post it for a while, keep pestering me. Trust me, that does make me want to make videos faster, because if I see that you guys are really wanting a video, then I'm going to try to make time, though over the past 6 months, yeah, I mean, there are exceptions to every rule, as we say and go. I've been busy, but I will try to have another video out, and feel free to pester me as much as you want for those videos. I am always happy to have people wanting to watch my videos, so I hope this was helpful, and I will try to come back in another video real soon. See you.